No freaking lie. I have tried to shoot this super quick video like 100 times, and just like one random thing will go wrong, and I'm just gonna try to get through it, okay? Got me an energy drink to calm my nerves, so let's see if we can get through it. Hey folks, legit. Thought it would be fun to do a quick prediction video for Scream 5. Not really sure what they're titling it, or they're still working out on the title, so just saying both for continuity prediction purposes. But yeah, predicting Scream, the next Scream things, because if you haven't been keeping up with the movie, if you're not too like familiar with the buzz on the street for Scream, Courtney Cox said in a recent interview some things that not only kind of like back up the predictions I had like previously, because I did an episode about Scream for the Princess Davy podcast, but it also like made me think some new predictions and thoughts, so I just had to like spill it out there. So yes, obviously spoiler alert for a movie that's not out yet, but also like movies that have been out for a while, so Scream 1, 2, 3, or 4, just spoiler alert, general spoiler alert. And then also, like, these are just my predictions, so please don't come at me too harshly. I'm just predicting things. Like I said for the episode of the podcast, I'm a fan of these movies, and one of the best things about Scream is like the twist and the reveal. So this is just me making guesses for a movie that we don't really even know too much about, okay? I am really fighting my like camera stand. Oh, please. I'll kick your butt. Okay, so uh with Scream 5, okay, what we've got from Courtney Cox is this more like of this confirmation, this idea that Scream, this next one coming out, Scream 5, is like not only a sequel, but also like a reboot of the franchise, okay? So with Scream 4, which is my favorite of the franchise, they kind of already did this. Like I said in the episode of the Princess Davy podcast, you can check it out. I'll leave it down in the link below. This is the last time I'll talk about it. But like I said in that episode, essentially with Scream 4, when they started production on that movie, they weren't sure if they were going to have any of the original trio come back. So they started down this path of a reboot. They got a whole new cast in. They had a whole new story going. And then the original cast came back, and they're like, okay, well, we'll meld them in. So, like, you can kind of peel out the original trio, and you got, like, a solid Scream reboot, okay? Like, I know time wise it might not make a full length movie, but like story wise you would have a pretty solid movie with its own twists and characters and red herrings and all that stuff, its own angle. So it was a reboot, but a sequel, and it's also again my favorite. So with Scream 5, they can do that again, where essentially something brings these characters back to town, and people that they're not necessarily related to are being murdered. And that's probably where they get that angle where it's not necessarily a sequel because we don't really know any of these people dying, but it is like another Scream. Because in Scream 4, the characters the one of the characters was related to Sidney Prescott. So, it was sort of like there was like that family angle. So they might ditch that for Scream 5, and it might just be, maybe Dewey dies. Maybe not necessarily from Ghostface. Maybe he dies in an accident or something. Or maybe Courtney Cox's character, Gail Weather, dies. Or maybe even Sydney dies. Like they'll pull a Halloween reboot thing. And she dies at the beginning. It brings them back for a funeral. And, these murders start happening. And they just get caught up in another string of deaths, another Ghostface, because like they could also kind of tie in the not the book, the TV series where, there's other killers using the Ghostface mask and the moniker, that name. So it's not necessarily the same Ghostface in the same characters that we know. And it also kind of ties in with my other thought in this kind of thing that they kind of toyed around with but didn't go with, was that maybe it could be like a cult or a group of people who are obsessed with either like Stab, the movies that would exist within the franchise, or with Sidney Prescott in general. Maybe they're obsessed with this like survivor person, the survivor girl who just happens to survive all these murders, and it's always her, so they're obsessed. It could be one person obsessed, it could be a group of people obsessed, and that's why they're like recreating murders to maybe see if she's, worthy of surviving again, or if she can survive again. Or maybe it's just them, like, again, like not letting go of this obsession with this franchise, with this movies. It could get really hardcore, like holding up the mirror to the fans, like, hey, can you let these characters go? She just wants to live her life. Let her go. Let her live. And we're like, oh, okay, sorry. Like she can enjoy her life all she wants. Just don't kill her off in the first 5 minutes. So like, it could be very that. It could be that angle. And it could even be where we find out, and I hope it's not this, that it was like Courtney Cox all along, or like Dewey all along. Like it was them all along. Because like aside from Marley Shelton coming back, who was like a cop in Scream 4, maybe it was her. It could be that, you know, maybe Dewey had this obsession with Sidney Prescott, or had this thing that he was upset with Sidney, and he was helping all these people throughout the entire franchise to get to Sidney. Maybe it was Gail Weathers who was helping, you know, trying to get her story and get her story out there so that, you know, she could become a famous reporter, and that's why she was doing this and torturing Sidney. And it's revealed like I was Ghostface the entire time. Maybe it was Sidney. Maybe she was just faking. Like, I hope it's not this. I really hope it's not this. But maybe she was like faking it, and she was just like, she was the murderer all along, and, you know, she was like going around killing some people and like making sure she survived. Like, I mean, they couldn't really do that because then the first one, I mean, I don't know, but it's a movie, so who knows? Maybe she has a twin. Maybe she has a twin that comes out and like reveals herself to be the killer. I hope it's also not that, because like that would be very soap opera, but also very Scream, where they just pull like a crazy twist out of nowhere, and we're all sitting there like, what? And like with my last twist, and this is the one I hope people don't get mad about, but it's like the dream twist, the meta twist, you know, because they keep saying again, it's a reboot, it's like a sequel, like, or it's a reboot and a sequel at the same time. So they could reveal that like Scream exists within this movie franchise and we're just watching a movie. They could pull out and be like, haha, you got it. This is Stab 8. This is a reboot. It could be revealed that the characters that we're watching in the movie are all fictional characters, like Gail Weathers made up this story to become a famous reporter, and then they made a movie about it, and then like we are watching in this new Scream what actually happened to these teenagers back in the 90s. We're going to get the real story and find out like what actually happened without the reporter putting a twist on it. You know, it could be very that. It could be even where it pulls out again and these characters are just watching Stab in the within the franchise, and that's why they decide to kill everybody, because like, hey, let's recreate Scream. Sorry, that's what I meant. It's going to be revealed that Scream is just a thing, and they're like, hey, let's do that. Let's recreate Scream. And it's just like hardcore extra multiple layers of meta. I mean, I don't really hope they do that, but who knows? They keep like literally telling us like, hey, it's a reboot and a sequel. Reboot, its name is Scream. So I just have, there's this like tiny little fear in the back of my mind that they're gonna be like, yeah, it was a dream. Like the first four are just like, they're not even real, even within the movie franchise. So have fun with that. So like, I hope not. I hope someone please be like, I hope not. Like, don't come at me too harshly. Again, these are just my predictions. But I hope like normal, I'm wrong. And let me know what you think. If you're excited for Scream, check out the Princess Davy podcast. Like I said, I'll leave a link for that episode down below so you can check out what I think about the first 4 movies. I may break down those movies again. And I might talk about the series, the TV show, because I love the TV show. But again, let me know. Love you.